What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of 10K on the Bay, my journey to 10,000 live listings. Today I want to go over why I think if you're only using the global shipping program, you're leaving money on the table. And this is exactly what I mean. Let's just get straight into it. I'm in one of my business policies right now. If you guys want to use business policies, go to bizpolicy.ebay.com and sign up for the program. If you're not opted in, you do need an eBay store. I have 14 different eBay business policies that allow me to quickly navigate what I'm selling, how I ship, the different containers that I use, and also since I'm using a lister, they'll know by the name of the policy what it is for. So pants, jeans, and jackets, I use a specific shipping policy. And this just helps streamline it, but I think it's important to realize that inside these policies, you can adjust them to ship the way that you want to ship. And for me, I want to use both the global shipping program and direct to the customer. I want to offer both, and I'll explain why in just a second. Most of my sales, over 90% of my international sales, are direct to the customer, not using the global shipping program. And even though I charge a $2 handling cost, it's still cheaper most of the time than using the global shipping program. So this is an opportunity for me to offer a service internationally and be a little bit more competitive. If my competition is only using GSP and we're selling the identical item, I'll probably get the sale because it's cheaper and faster for me to ship directly to them. I mean, in a very straightforward way of thinking about it, if you ship it to Kentucky first, all that transit time there is added on top of the time they send to that different country. So I like to offer both. Now, using the GSP program is easier because if you just send it there, then you're done. And they deal with the customs and all the issues that can happen from international shipping. But I think it's personally worth the risk because you have more sales. But I'll show you an example of where a global shipping program helps you. So I shipped directly to Italy. I've shipped a pair of shoes. The customer did not receive them. If you look here at the tracking number, you can see that it has not updated since October 26th. And on this video is November 17th. It's been 3 weeks. So 20-ish days, and the item has not updated. Now, I know from experience that items shipping to Italy can sometimes have 4 to 6 weeks delay before they go through customs. So in this case, if any customer in Italy has it for over 10 days in customs, they can request an item not as received case with eBay, and they're going to win 100% of the time because the rule is if it hasn't updated in 10 days, they automatically win the case. So I signed up for a text message update. I think you guys should do this. Go to USPS.com if you're shipping an international package and there's an issue or a case opened. Throw in your phone number, and basically this will give you a text message update if somebody wants to contact you. I'm sorry, so the post office can reach you when it's updated. So when this is delivered, which I believe it will be, I'll get a text, and at that point, I'll reach out to my buyer and say, please pay me. And I'm going to assume all buyers are good and they're not unscrupulous. Maybe this person has never purchased something from the States before, or maybe there is a restriction on footwear, which I have heard that you cannot ship shoes to Italy for any reason, and it's going to be returned to sender, whatever. I hope I get these shoes back, but I just want to show you guys that using the global shipping program does prevent against stuff like this because they would be dealing with this issue if you ship it directly to them. So now I want to go over a couple more things, which are if you want to exclude certain countries, you can go to site preferences, and this will be a really good way for you guys to exclude certain countries. So if you go to site preferences and shipping preferences, here you can exclude shipping locations from your listings right here. And I have excluded 3 countries. So if you go up here, I've excluded Italy, Russia, and Chile. So these 3 countries I do not ship to directly. However, there's this awesome little box right here. That's the global shipping program settings, and you can actually override your shipping exclusions to still work with GSP Direct, which is fantastic, which means I can still sell to Italy, Chile, or Russia. If the item is GSP eligible, it'll just go to Kentucky first. So this allows me to do worldwide shipping. Some countries I ship direct, especially Canada. If you only use the GSP program, I think you're missing a ton of Canadian customers because they definitely don't want to wait an extra 4 or 5 days for you to ship it to Kentucky first. You can just ship it to them directly. Oftentimes, it'll arrive in under a week if you're going to Canada, which is amazing. So you guys definitely want to make use of this. Go into your site preferences once in a while and take a look at all these settings so you can really optimize your store to give you the best return on your money. So if you go here to the sell your item form and listings, this checkbox right here allows you to hide your solds. So there's a lot of inexperienced eBayers that don't know that you can hide your solds. When you're doing research on different stores to find out what you should sell, because that's a good way to do it, is look at what other people are doing and then copy them. So here, if you look at feedback left for others, you can see that I've had 1,538 transactions since I started this new account. If you wanted to, you could go in here and manually look at every single item I have sold. I'm not as afraid in this public store to share my solds because the items are pre-owned. So it would be difficult for you to copy my store identically, but I wanted to show you guys how to make a full-time income, which in my opinion is $1,000 a week minimum. And the math behind that is $15,000 a month in sales, under $5,000 cost, and under $5,000 in expenses, and you'll be right at the $5K pre-tax. So if you go to here, you want to really get into the point where you're making, $400 or $500 a day, and that's, if 1/3 of that is expenses, you will be right in the $1,000 a week bucket, which allows a lot of people the flexibility to quit their job if that's your end game. I actually think you can do this part-time. So once you're in the $500 range, which I think really matters how much you have listed. So this is the screen that you guys want to go to figure that out. It's ebay.com/sh/lst/active. This number right here, your fixed price total, in my opinion, is the number that you're going to make annually. So like if you can turn over your inventory 2 to 4 times with a 1/3 to 1/2 margin, then you're going to be netting $50,000. And if you guys really want to make 6 figures, you need to have more than 100K listed, or you need to sell items that sell really fast. So one or the other. You can have a lot less listed, but in my opinion, it's very difficult to have items that move that quickly. Most people overestimate their sell-through rate. They think that they sell 1/3 of their items when they really sell more like 1/4 of their items each month. That's a big difference. So make sure you give yourself enough room. If you have $100,000 worth of stuff listed, and let's say you have a bad month and only 10,000 of it sells, that's still pretty good. If you have a 1/3 margin with 10,000 in sales, that means you're making 33. So it's a little over $3,000 on a bad month. If only 10% of your stuff sells, you're either a super long tail type of seller, and you're only going for home runs, which is great. And now, if you're doing that, I'm hoping that the $100,000 you have in inventory, you paid less than $10,000 for. Because if you're really waiting, it might as well be worth it. You don't want to wait for items that are low profit. Like if you spent $50,000 on that $100,000, it wouldn't be worth it to wait that long. You can find stuff that is a home run type scenario where you make a lot of profit that makes it worth the wait. Okay, so you want to focus on getting as much stuff as you want listed. There's a program with Sam Cohen. He's like this Amazon entrepreneur. And the numbers that they track are basically how much you have listed and how fast you sell it. And in my opinion, you can listen. You don't need to be a guru to know that. If you increase the amount you have listed and how fast you sell it each month, you will make more money. That's the bottom line. It's as simple as that. List more stuff, sell it faster. So this is the number that you guys really want to work on to make sure that you get to the numbers that you're looking for. Again, the purpose of this Low-Key Husky account is to help you guys make at least $1,000 a week and show you an example. And I'm above that now at this point. But if you get to $500 a day in sales, I think most people can do that with common items. There's nothing in my store, minus the Apple shoes, that is that uncommon. And if you subtract that shoe off of my listings, it's about 50,000 listed without shipping. And if you add in the shipping, it's like 75,000 listed. So 75,000 listed, I should have $750 in sales a day, ideally for me. And since I just listed like another 30,000 the last couple of weeks, it hasn't really indexed and caught up yet. So it takes a while, guys. When you list a bunch of items, it doesn't immediately translate into tons more sales. It takes a while for it to marinate in the eBay indexing system. Plus, you have to give yourself a chance. You have to give buyers a chance to see your items. You need to have enough watchers and views to get enough people to buy it. So don't panic. When your store grows, a lot of times your sell-through rate can go down. So don't worry about the sell-through rate maintaining. It doesn't work that way. It's not linear. It doesn't, like you don't every 10 items you list, you sell one. It doesn't work like that. It's definitely a step-by-step system by stages, and make sure that you grow the amount that you have listed and your sell-through rate. You will make more money on eBay guaranteed. I also recommend you use other platforms to really start learning stuff. So if you use Grailed or Vinted or Mercari or Poshmark or Amazon, each time you learn a new platform, you learn little tricks and tips on those platforms that will apply to eBay. You can use things like eBay Partner Network. The reason why I have these shoes listed so high is because it generates me traffic from my Instagram. So people will go to my Instagram, they'll click on these shoes. If they buy something within 24 hours, I get a commission on that. So it doesn't really make sense for me to even sell these at all, because it makes me a few bucks a day. And a few bucks a day over the course of a couple of years is more than I would get for these shoes if I just sold them outright. So sometimes you want to use signposts. If you're wondering why some people price things really high, it's for that reason. You want to make your own products. I wrote a book. And of course, when you write a book and it's limited edition like this, there's nowhere else you can get it. You can charge whatever you want because it's the only place that's selling them. Again, develop your own style. If you really want to get into the range of, in my opinion, a comfortable six-figure or $5,000 or $5,000 to $10,000 comfortable living, you need to learn to source items that have a $50 ASP. That's going to make your life more comfortable. I'm not saying it's easier. In fact, I think the $25 to $45 range of items sells the fastest. Like because it's just like accessible to everyone on eBay. If you use the tools like TerraPeak or the Growth tab or the Performance tab on eBay, you will learn what sells. But the majority of eBay is cheaper items. So you want to get in there and learn. You want to mix stuff that will sell really fast with stuff that's a little more long tail. You want to mix new, used. You want to get into a groove and figure it out. So for me, since I'm a YouTuber, I have a nice eclectic collection of rare items, vintage items. I have new with tags items. I'm learning wholesale. Like here, obviously this is really easy, right? To get 4 pairs of the identical jeans, 12 watchers. I usually don't offer free shipping, but I do if the item, I offer free shipping if the item does not have best offer. So since 3 have already sold, I may actually raise the price on this one. So I'll go down here. Let me raise the price a little bit to $45, $44.99. And then you can see here, I have a policy. My number 10 policy is free calculated USPS priority mail. These actually weigh a little bit over 1 pound, but that's okay because they're going to go in a flat rate envelope. Perfectly new is kind of redundant. But yeah, you want to go in there and adjust listings as you go. When things are selling fast, obviously everybody wants replenishables, but it's not super easy to get it. It takes time to build those up and build the relationships. My other non-public store is 100% replenishables. So I'm getting into that game. The reason why that's not public is not because I'm shady. It's because none of the stuff I sell in that store is rare. So you could just Google where I get it and sell the same thing, and that doesn't make sense for me to share that. But a lot of people think it's shady if you don't share every single thing, but it doesn't matter to me. Just want to point it out for people who are wondering. Another category that I think you guys should really get into is, couture or like higher end vintage, higher end fashionable things. Certain brands will go for big money. And this is how you can really, really scale your business when you start getting some really high dollar items, because that profit can be used to get more inventory. So I recommend you learn higher brands. You learn Gucci, you learn Ralph Lauren, some more rare pieces. Because once you start getting some items that are really, really high profit, it really, really helps your growth. Certain brands, obviously Jordans, be careful. There's a lot of fakes out there. You want to, when you sell Jordans, I recommend you use all 12 photos. Do close-ups, take really clear pictures so people can see exactly what you're selling, because that's the only way they can authenticate it. You want to make sure you take close-up pictures. You want to show the detailing, the stitching, so people can determine on their own whether or not it's fake. They can do legit checks. They can send it in to a site so they can say, hey, is this tag legitimate? If you don't give people these pictures, they're probably just going to assume it's fake and move on. And that's what I do. Whenever I see high-end stuff I'm looking to purchase, if you don't provide me high-quality pictures of every single angle, it's going to be difficult for me to determine it. Also, it's very, very important for you guys to show the box if you have it. A lot of collectors really need the box in order to pay top dollar for the item. So that's what you want to do, guys. And then when things are rare, I definitely would price high and wait for a buyer. So it depends on your business model, but I think you should mix it up with items that are huge profit. I think I paid $20 for these. And also items that move quickly. The buy for 5, sell for 25 to 45, you can build a great business off of that. So if you guys have any questions, email me at 10konthebay@gmail.com. I have a Facebook group called Reseller Fam that I co-operate with 5 other people. And then I also have a Patreon if you want to join my mastermind group with 100 people. That's pretty much full. I only have Thursday morning open. And if you want me to review your store, send me an email at 10konthebay@gmail.com. I don't have a ton of time for that, so you may have to wait a couple of weeks for me to respond, but I will review your store for free. So what do I get out of this? I'm just going to end with that. Guys, me running a YouTube channel is the biggest hack ever. First of all, I get to meet tons of people in person and meet new people. But the thing that makes me the most money is learning what people sell. So if you guys really want to level up, start your own YouTube channel so that you can meet people and find out what they're selling. And they're more likely to share with you if you share with them. So the more you share, the more you receive. The more you give, the more you receive. Everyone have a great day. Hope you're killing it.